Welcome to Forever Exile, the Path of Exile podcast. I'm Justin, AK Tags.
Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
We have determined this is episode 104 after some conversing.
We did, yeah. It was almost in the 300s, but we went back and recounted, and we're pretty sure this is 104.
That's right. We used to count by threes. We're supposed to be counting by ones.
Yeah, that's right. That's how we got so many episodes. We just skipped a bunch.
Episode 104. Happy Friday.
It
Happy
is.
October.
Hey, Justin, you were so busy getting this ready, and your phone's been ringing off the hook, but I got a gift for you so that things are a little bit faster for you. Yeah, listen to this. Just, I'm almost done my afternoon coffee.
That's
here
supposed to
before
be
we
an
go
after
pick up
dark
the
thing,
kids.
though. I don't think you do it in most main episodes. For some reason, it's always after dark.
It is.
The main episode, you keep it professional.
I do, but you also cut me out, right?
That's right. I usually do.
You always like to make me look like a git and AD.
As much as possible.
No, we're doing another afternoon recording, so we're on a timestamp this time. We have to take off in an hour to go get our kids from school, so...
I was debating even with this episode. Last night I was
leaving them at school?
Not feeling great. No, my kids are coming home.
Yeah.
Sorry. Figure it out.
No, what were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, just that yesterday I was like, I had a different idea, but I'm going to save it for a future episode. So anyway, big shout out to some patrons who resubscribed. Thank you guys. And how was your week, Ty?
I had a good week. It was a busy week. What?
I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah.
Patrons in general are awesome. And I forgot to say thank you to all of them. Thank you guys for supporting the podcast. If you're curious what the Patreon is, it gets you access to After Dark, which is our podcast after the podcast, where we just talk about more stuff and things. And in fact, today we're going to be recording it at an entirely different time. First time ever. Yeah.
Separated.
6 hours later. Ooh, what could happen? Imagine.
I know. Imagine all the life.
The thing that fly is annoying. Oh my god!
I have one fly that's locked in this office here, and
it just keeps flying by. It's
awesome.
On
the E button. It's on the W. It's flown onto my phone.
Sweet.
I want to crush it.
All right. How was your week? I won't cut you off this time.
Oh, you can cut me off as much as you like. I had a busy week, man. But like, what'd we do? We had our piping. The plumbing we have in this house since we bought it 2-3 years ago now is brutal. We tolerate what we can. I fix what I can as long as it's not important. We pay people to do important things because I'm not the ultimate handy guy.
At all.
No, not at all. What I do a good job with, but there's certain things that are worth trying and certain things that are just worth paying for. You should pay somebody,
100%.
And yeah, so I pay people to brush my teeth and wipe my nose.
That's right.
And so anyway,
but yawning,
we finally...
You got it down.
No, so that made me want to yawn now. No, so our kitchen sink has had like an extremely loose faucet for so long, and I've purchased and had different supplies. You know how Moen like gives away free stuff at Home Depot? They're the best company in the world. I wish they made everything. I wish they made cars and computers and everything. It's such a good company. So anyway, get your free parts, and I tried to buy some extra parts to try and clamp down basically our faucet. And it just didn't work. There's something wrong with the carpentry underneath, and then we have some. Everybody's got a plumber buddy. Well, we have a plumber in our family came over, saw underneath our sink one day, same sink, and it's just like, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm coming over one day. You just pay me for parts.
Nice.
So yeah, very very kind. Works for one of the local cities as well. So definitely legit. Thousands of hours under their belt, and the kind of person where they're so good at what they do. They're not even thinking about what they're doing. Sure. And they're talking about random stuff the whole time. But the whole time, you can tell they just know what they're doing. And you don't even want to interrupt their story because it's like it would screw them up. You know what I mean? So anyway, super kind guy came over, finally fixed it. We, for the first time, Justin, in 2 or 3 years, have a faucet we don't have to hang on to and stabilize to turn on and off in the kitchen. It's awesome.
That's good.
And we have piping that we don't have to worry about underneath now. It's not glued. It's properly done. Oh, it's so nice. And last night, hey, you seen now that we're on the subject, have you seen Free Guy? It just came out on Disney Plus for us Canadians a couple days ago.
Did you see it?
Okay. Yeah.
Did you like it?
I laughed, but it actually really sucked.
Okay, so we were gonna see it one night. Christina and I had a night out, and we were thinking like, well, you haven't been to a movie in forever. Why don't we go to see what's in theater? And that was one of them. And both of us were like, maybe we'll just watch that one when it comes out because I don't really want to sit through a theater for it. So I mean, it's Ryan Reynolds, so that's usually funny, but it didn't grab my attention. Plus, she doesn't play video games anyway, so she was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to care that much about it.
Yeah, and it was good, but after you see it, there's stuff to complain about. But yeah, definitely not worth my money. But I was so excited to see it that I wanted to bring it up, and then I ended up being really disappointed. But What else do we do? The last few, I don't know, maybe month now, the Formula One group that plays video games, we started getting into 100% race lengths. Like we're turning on the Formula One game. And, for the sake of users and time and video games, they let you choose like a 25 or 50% length race and even up to 100. Well, 100% race is like your legit time. We did a 100% race in the rain in Singapore and it was 2 hours. It was literally 2 hours. And it is so excruciating on my hands, but it is so fun. It is so fun. I feel like I know everything now that I've done a couple 100% races. I lose every one. Chris, Ian, Ryan, they're crushing me, but man, it has been a ton of fun. So now some of our evenings when we're racing, you can't even interrupt. Like it's like 2 hours, an hour and a half of not being able to really pause the game. You know what I mean? It's not like you're even mapping like in Path of Exile when you're finished your map. It's kind of like you're pausing and you're hanging out in your hideout. None of that in the race. So it's been tons of fun. But we were able to go out to Pita Pit just.
We did.
We didn't take a picture to commemorate the moment, but you, Chris, and I went to Pita Pit, and man, it felt good to hang out somewhere and sit legally allowed to, not like, disobeying stuff just to have a good time. It was
fun.
It was a nice breath of fresh air to hang out with you and Chris. It was cool.
I agree. It was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been way better without Chris, but
100%. God.
100%. Yeah. That loser. First sunny day in a while too. Hey, how's your lawn looking?
My lawn's looking pretty good. My guy who does my lawn called me up. He was I can't remember what he was putting down, maybe 2 weeks ago. And he calls me and he says, he was just giving me a heads up because you can't let a dog or kids on the lawn for like 3 hours, 4 hours afterwards. And so he wanted to let me know. And he's like, I just want to make sure that you're aware of what the black stuff is that's on your lawn. And I was like, I know 100%. It's just because I completely killed my lawn and let it dry out over the summer. And so when it grows back, it almost looks a little, almost like fungusy, but it isn't actually that. And he says, okay, I just want to make sure you knew. I got another client who that happened to his lawn, and I started treating it, and he's called me up freaking out because his lawn is gone black. I'm like, no, I fully understand. It's my fault. It's coming back green though. Yeah,
nice. Good. Mine's doing okay. It's still taking its time to germinate. I'm still a little panicked about it, but it'll be fine.
12, 15 days. You'll be fine. Depends on what type of grass you put down too.
I just use Scott's 911 because it has fertilizer in it. And then I don't have to double down on how much I'm spreading around.
Do you know what the seed type was though?
It's mixed. It's mixed. It's bluegrass Kentucky. It's a whole bunch of different stuff.
Because bluegrass takes a lot longer to start up anyway.
Good. Cool. Yeah, I can definitely see some of it germinating, but I kind of was hoping it'd be thicker by now because we're gonna have a cold.
It's a lot of
fall.
rain.
It was. So I hope it didn't get drowned out.
I may have left the window open partly on my car.
Maybe.
Yep, possibly.
That sucks.
Wasn't great.
Last thing. Last night, man, I had a dream about PoE, and because that's obviously what we dream about. I had a dream that somehow I got rid of my 6-link chest in my zombie build. Like I'm the kind of player, like I'm casual enough where I have 1 6-link, maybe 2. I mean, I have others that I'm saving. Every single 6-link I save because maybe I'll need it, and that's how rarely they drop for me type of thing with the amount of content I play. But I've only been able to use 2. And only one of them on one of my permanent builds, and that's luckily it suited my zombie build. And I had a dream that I somehow got rid of it. Like I don't know if like I still had the item, but it wasn't 6-linked anymore. I don't know how I did it, but it was terrifying. I remember in the dream being like so heartbroken and disappointed with myself. Like, how could you do this? How could you use that? And I don't know what item in my dream I would have used to un-6-link it and get rid of the 6 sockets, but it was terrifying, Justin. That was like the worst thing that has ever happened to me in my life. So anyway, I know that was all scatterbrained and stuff, but I had a fun week and I want to tell you all those different things. So it was kind of cool. Did you actually hang on a sec? I gotta take my sweater off because it's freaking smoking hot in here. Just a sec. And then tell me about your week.
I can't wait. He's just undressing. So give him a moment. And close her off. All right.
Yeah, naked. Go ahead. Oh,
that was real fast.
Hang on.
Every week,
no,
people.
Never mind.
Every week. Oh, and he changed his mind. Okay.
No, yeah.
All right. You can put it on later.
Yeah.
My week was good. So I watched another Netflix special. It tends to be like my lunch. If I have time when I'm working and I'm just like gonna grab some food, I'll flip on some Netflix. It's called A Life of Speed. Have you heard of this? It's the story of Juan Fangio.
No, I have not.
He's I don't know, a lot of the drivers called him like the grandfather of F1. It was really cool.
Really cool.
Seeing
Okay.
like sort of how F1, who this guy was and how what the racing used to be like. Those guys were freaking nuts. Like what they used to drive in, and they were still hitting like 300 kilometers per hour. Insane. It was really cool though. It was really cool to see. They had a lot of the guys from F1 talking about who he was.
Interesting.
What's the guy's name that used to race with Hamilton? Nico?
Uh,
He
Nico
used to race with.
Rosberg?
Yeah, I don't like him.
Why?
I don't know. I just find him a bit of a douchebag. I didn't
Different
ever
cultures.
watch him when he raced, but he just there's a spot in Fangio's career where in order to maintain the championship, his car broke down and one of his teammates, they used to have 3 players per team,
Yeah.
or in a lot of the cases, one of the other drivers actually came in and gave him his car so that he could finish the race, because all he needed to do was finish 3rd or 4th.
Okay.
And he would actually hold on to the championship. And one of the other drivers came in and gave him his car to finish the race in. And this Nico guy's like, well, I don't know. Would Hamilton have done that for me? And I was like, would you have done it for him? You guys are a bunch of selfish dicks, all of you. It's not like it's just him. It just made me laugh.
Some are super kind, but Nico and Lewis it was really rough.
It didn't seem like a very
it was
friendly
constant
friendship.
riffs. It
Yeah.
wasn't. It was
Mhm.
nothing like Bottas and Hamilton now, or Ricardo and Norris. It was nothing like that.
I saw a really funny old interview where it was Nico, Hamilton, and Vettel in a conference after the race. And in that particular race, Kimi hadn't finished. And Nico says to Vettel, well, I'm sure you're happy that your teammate didn't finish at least. And Vettel looks over and he's like, I don't know what your relationship is like between you two, but I like Kimi. And it is too bad that he didn't finish.
Yeah.
Like he totally just slapped him with it. But
Vettel's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
he
had a rough going on, but it was a good show.
yeah, it was really cool to hear and see stuff with F1 from before. I didn't do a whole lot playing. I started New World. That's the new Amazon game, the MMO.
Yeah.
It's all right. I don't know how people play MMOs anymore. Like they're just monster time sinks now. They're so unbelievably grindy that it.
Is that what this one's made for too?
Oh yeah. Like
Is it like a pay to win style?
Nope. There's no pay advantage at all. It's very, the more you play, the better you're going to be versus other people, which is fine. That's good. But it's like, hey, do you really want to chop down 4 million trees and hit 4 billion rocks to craft stuff to be competitive? And I don't know if this is good or not. It reminds me of Morrowind. There's no, there is fast travel that's introduced later, but everything's on foot and the map is massive. So there's no like, hey, I'm going to get on a horse and ride down there faster. It's like, all right, just start running.
Yeah. I do miss the Morrowind days though. Like I like that Morrowind and the first Borderlands had the more you do something, the better you get at it, and you
Mhm.
level it up via use. And I loved that. I mean, sure, it got ridiculous in Morrowind where you could, jump over
Run
a city
into a
per
wall
se,
and
but
stuff.
yeah. But I like that aspect of
I like that.
RPGs.
I 100% do too. The one problem is when a game like New World, if you have a group that you play with, it's way better because it's so focused on like large group events, and the PvP is focused on 50 versus 50 or something like that. So it's like large groups, but you're like sieging each other's towns, which is really cool. But I'm playing with my son, and even he plays more than I do. So whatever.
Just on Steam?
Yep. I literally just picked it up because I was like, this is kind of dumb because in 28 days from right now, I'm not going to be playing it. Like Age of Empires 4 is coming out, so that's going to be, and I like those games because you can just pick them up and go. And then Path of Exile, the next expansion, is going to be out soon. So it's all right. It's all right. I spent my time on that when I wasn't busy with work.
Nice.
Yeah. And then my kid's sick home today. Well, she's like sick-ish, so we've just been hanging out. I tried to, as much as possible, work from home today. I made her lunch.
First time?
No, I do it often. I'm really good at it.
Oh, good for you.
She asked for a cucumber, but I was in a hurry. So I grabbed a cucumber and just like snapped a piece because she doesn't like it sliced. She likes like a 4 or 5 inch. She just wants to chew on the whole thing.
Okay.
So I snapped it with my hands and gave it to her. Never have I ever felt more like He-Man than that moment when she's like, you did that with your muscles? It was awesome. I felt like I was a beast, but it was a good week. Let's switch things up a little bit. We've got the private league ending, sort of.
Yeah.
We got the
You
private
played
league
it
ending.
lots.
I had a blast playing the private league. I did burn out at the end, but I knew that was going to happen. Okay, so here's the thing. Private league ends in like, I don't know, 3 days. When this comes out, it ends that day, right? No, the next day.
And our private league's just a private league with normal rules. It's just hardcore and solo self-found.
Right. I was thinking about that today, solo self-found and hardcore. So I played the normal league, which is non-solo self-found, non-hardcore. To me, that's the normal league, okay?
The typical trade league, yeah.
And solo self-found, if you play just solo self-found, the struggle for you in a solo self-found league is you have to find the items. And so you need to push a little bit harder because, you know, if I'm playing solo self-found, I know I have to put myself out there a little bit more because I need to find the items myself. And so I can push harder. I can die, but I can push harder. And then the alternative is hardcore, where I need to be really careful. But if I'm playing a hardcore trade, so non-solo self-found hardcore, at least as I get to that point where I'm struggling, I can go, okay, what's something that I could use? I'm low on fire. My health isn't good enough. Damage isn't whatever. Let me go and find what I need. So I'm not pushing myself into that dangerous spot while playing hardcore. Solo self-found hardcore for me is just such a weird mentality to get my head into, because I get to maps and I want to progress like how I would progress a new league, but I'm too scared to push I can feel myself so many times in solo self-found hardcore going like, shit, I don't know how I didn't just die there. And I got really lucky. Damage is starting to, you know, struggle a bit. It's hard in solo self-found hardcore to find that. I don't know where that balance is of when you're just mindlessly farming. Because really, for me in solo self-found hardcore, currency is meh, especially in a 10-day league. I'm not going to be crafting a ton of stuff. The items are what I need. I need the items more than I need the currency. But I'm too scared to push that envelope before, because I didn't want to die. I hate seeing my name in yellow text when it's a death. Everything else, love it. But a death, it's not for me. So I think I finished, I don't know, I think I'm in 30 or 40th place. It wasn't my best finish, but I also stopped on Monday after we played. Well, I played.
I played. Really play. I just finished a little bit earlier on Monday night.
How was the private league for you, Ty?
Oh, I had a great time, Just. Thanks for asking. No, it was great.
How many times?
You know what? I played the private league one whole time. Just many, many attempts.
Oh, it was so fun to watch.
See, this is what I think originally you wanted me to be the threshold for with some of these prizes.
I didn't expect the threshold to ever be this low.
I don't think you ever expected the threshold to be high. I used to get to the 60s or 70s. I used to get into the 60s, I think.
Not hardcore, not typically.
Yeah. My zombie build, remember, I would die stupidly because I went the wrong way as the stupid crawler in Delve, right? I'm already finished. I'm just getting ready to start maps. I'm like, oh, I need that 4-link recipe. So I go down, I go the wrong way in the darkness.
You just slowly watch you die.
Yeah, but I'm in my 60s. Like every time you finish the campaign, your 60s, I normally skip the league content for everything because I don't like the fluctuation of difficulty. And I know that's something they're planning on fixing, but in the past, that's just, you know, I don't like the fluctuation of like huge difficulty spike and then back down when it's not a boss. You know what I mean? So especially because with the boss, you know what's happening, you know the moves, you know the stuff, so you can kind of gauge the difficulty. But when it's league content, you hit something and then all these monsters spawn. It's like Harvest in a way, but while you're leveling, you don't know what you're going to get or what you're going to have to fight. So I don't like the unpredictability. So I'm always in low 60s, mid 60s when I finish campaign and hardcore in our private leagues typically.
I really liked Gwen for leveling. Doing her stuff, I got a lot. Most of my leveling uniques came from her, which was awesome. But
smart.
The other ones were not great.
Hang on.
You're not going to catch it. Don't.
Oh, I touched it. Oh,
no way.
I almost got it. Oh, shut up. Anyway, so I had a great time, but I didn't even count my deaths, but I think from people on Discord, I've died over 20 times.
Yeah.
I got past breaking the eggs and those crazy ROAs that charge you from off screen, but I couldn't even avoid the ones I could see.
Favorite thing ever was watching you run from ROAs and then one time when you just kept running further into the level, and you told me later you did that on purpose, but watching you run into the level and then more ROAs running, and then I just loved you not sidestepping charging ROAs, and you're like, oh, he got me. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, like I tried I had many opportunities to try many different ways to try and get past breaking the eggs. I have a bone zombie build, so that starts as a necromancer. Obviously, zombies are the biggest joke in the world to give at level 1. You got to change out, like they're so useless. And I need breaking the eggs if I'm going with summoning, because that's where you get SRS, right? And I'm so bad at aiming, so doing something like fireball, blight ended up being a really good skill for me.
Because you slow them down too.
Trying that out, yeah, it's good, but it's still a lot of standing still. So it's nice when you can get SRS. You like cast, move, and then it does its own aiming. But I had to break the eggs for that, and that's tough. So Witch was hard for me to start with, but then I also tried the Duelist, eventually, aiming for the end of campaign, doing max block. Went with the Marauder quite a few times. Eventually going for Righteous Fire, of course, never got there, but I'd be happy just using Incinerate, which is part of that build for me. Didn't get there either.
What was your highest? What class, what build was the build that you got the furthest with?
The Witch.
Okay.
With my zombie build. So like the weakest, hardest, most difficult one for me to do, I ended up being the one where I broke the eggs and got through. But I tried everything, right? Like, and it's neat because breaking the eggs is quite neat, because you get a whole bunch of new skills available, and there's a lot to consider and a lot of different options. What was that? What's that, Lancing Steel or something like that, where you get those shards that float behind you? That one ended up I could do pretty good with the Duelist.
Yep.
But what was nuts? As I was trying to go through, like, I can't do the really specific aiming skill, so I would try and do things like Ground Slam or Perforate and some of the AoEs. I think I mentioned that last time. The Marauder only gets two skills after breaking the eggs. The Witch gets like 8, 10. The Duelist got a whole bunch, and then I'm like the Marauder, and I'm like, okay, I have tons of life regen and mitigation in this build. I can do it with this one. I just have to get past breaking the egg so that I can get my Holy Flame Totem. I got two.
I
two
love
skills.
The idea of like, this build will work if I can get past breaking the eggs.
See, for me, I would always forget when I'm making my builds. I would always forget, like, oh yeah, I gotta level the build.
Right.
Like it's going to be awesome once it's leveled up. But to get there, I can't tell you how long it took me in my PoE career per se to consider the leveling process as well. And so it's almost like a completely different build to get some of these builds leveled. Now, of course, I'm not like that.
All the time.
But for me now, the goal with the Act 1 is in hardcore. It's like, okay, I just need breaking the eggs. Okay, I can do this. And oh man, like with the Witch, sometimes she, like the Roa, stun, dead. Oh man, those Roas, like it was tough. So I'd go through and I'd like try going really slow, kill one at a time, kite one at a time. And it's good, but like I got 10 days in this private league. I don't want to do it forever. And then there's other times where I'd be dying so much, I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to like avoid everyone. I'm just going to click on those stupid eggs and I'm out of there. I'm going to those submerged caverns. Yeah, that didn't work. And so
hilarious to watch though.
I broke the eggs twice. Once with the Duelist with that Shattering Steel skill, whatever it's called, and then another time with the Witch. And it was the Witch that I progressed to, I think,
all
28.
Your other deaths were to breaking the eggs?
Or somewhere along the lines, yeah.
Somewhere along the lines. There's
a lot of areas before breaking the eggs. But Hillock didn't kill me once, so
there you go.
Suck it.
There you go.
But yeah, it was mostly in the mud flats, and then once or twice to that crazy guy that freezes you, where you're trying to get a Quicksilver Flask. Yeah. But it was fun. Like I don't mind sucking at a game.
Yeah, once a league, it's fine.
We play hardcore. I play hardcore. Like we do this to have fun with other people. Sure, there's some people that really excel at it, but man, am I glad that at least one of us sucks at this, so that other people that play, they know they can just have fun. And
right now there's like 91s, 90s, 92.
Up all of yours. You are never allowed to listen to this podcast again.
There's actually more alive in the top 3 of each class right now than dead, which was not the case for a while. For a while, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be all dead people that win. But nope.
No, congratulations to people that can do that really well and progress quickly and have the time to do it, but the patience to do it and the smarts to do it.
Yep. Very well done.
Yeah, I'm not a hardcore guy, so I appreciate your abilities there. But yeah, I had a good, I really enjoyed it. The one thing that I did notice, though, with all my different leveling, maybe I got past them a couple more times, but there was an episode a while ago where I was like, man, it would be really nice, because I always have a complaint about how drops work, like with life flasks and scrolls and stuff like that. I think that's too random. There should be a little bit of a design in there where they're
give
dropping
it as a reward or something.
Something,
reward
yeah,
or
like
something.
40 scrolls for beating Hillock or something like that, or of both types. Or but anyway, point is there's a couple dead end bosses as you're leveling. One of them is in the submerged area where you're beating the Granddaddy Crab.
Yeah.
Is what Tarkley calls it. Every time I beat that boss and didn't have a portal scroll, one dropped.
That was just luck.
Yeah. So, and maybe the other times that I've complained about it, I had one portal scroll, and so it didn't drop. So maybe there are some rules like that I'm just unaware of, and I'm thinking, well, 2 would be really nice at this point. I guess I'll use my only one. So I don't know. Maybe there is that kind of stuff. But I did notice every single time I was at a dead end, beat a boss, needed to go back to town, a portal scroll dropped.
So I think you definitely got lucky, but I 100% agree with you that it should do something like that. And I just want to throw in there for the people who are typing right now in the comments, we understand that you could log out and log back in. That's not the point. The point is that you shouldn't have to log out and log back in. So I just want to clarify real quick, because I know you're typing. We understand you can do it. We know you can. It's just the idea that maybe you shouldn't have to.
I still hope somebody does hit enter on it, and then instead of deleting it, just be like edit, and I'm like, oh, I got caught.
So
I appreciate those people that don't change what they said. They just admit it. I like it. But then, so anyway, I died, and I kind of got frustrated with Act 1 over and over and over. I have no problem with the difficulty level. It's not a complaint at all. I just suck at hardcore, and there's just a certain point where I'm like, all right, 25 attempts.
When we got on
Act
Monday
1,
to play, by that point, you were like, I'm not even playing the private league anymore. I was like, what?
Yeah, by the time I'd already been playing for about an hour or something. So by the time you signed on, I'd already had my last death, and I was like, 4
or 5 deaths later.
So I kept playing with our league character. My Bone Zombie's one that's in like the mid high 80s now in terms of levels, and so I was playing, and it was easy content, but it made me feel good, right? Because we normally play in your world, so I didn't really have the map drop. So I had some early yellow maps, but nothing red or anything like that. And I was fine with that. I'm just playing for fun at this point, but it was nice to do easy content and feel super strong. But it was awesome because one of our friends of the show that we've had on, it was so awesome to have Shaq Central on. He's on my friends list, and I see him go on and off, on and off. Shaq's logging on and off, and on and off, and on, off, on, off. And it was awesome. And then I finally caught on because one of the character names that he was using was something about the Onigoroshi or whatever that item that 6-link item that can drop from
Hillock.
Uber Hillock. And so yeah, it was just funny, and I was laughing. I'm like, oh man, Oni farming is something that people like to do on and off, but I've never noticed someone on the friends list popping up and off like that. And I'm like, oh man, that's hilarious. How often you see this person when they're doing it. And anyway, Shaq, if you listen to this episode, I hope you got it. Because it was very entertaining seeing, and it wasn't actually annoying at all. I thought it was hilarious seeing Shaq's name go boop, 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 on and off. But yeah, then I played console for a while this week too.
Ew, why?
Because it's awesome. I for the first time in my life actually caught a glimpse of a wealthy mod on an enemy. I've never seen a wealthy mod.
Now, you didn't actually see it.
No, I did. I saw it. I read it. It was amazing. It dropped 1 silver coin.
Need a better filter.
Oh. I pushed down on the left analog stick. That's holding Alt for the few PC players out there. I pushed down on the left analog stick to check, and it was just like, oh man. So it just ended up being...
That seems like a fair wealthy mod for console.
I was a little bummed about it, but
so
yeah. No, I actually think it might have been like ×2 silver coins and then like 1 shield. But I checked, and there wasn't anything else about it, so I was like, too bad. But I'm loving. Speaking of holding down the left analog stick or Alt. I know it's not all across the board yet, but there's been some times where I'm learning about some of the newer gems that are out, or I want some familiarizing. Holding Alt on gem descriptions and other aspects of the game in the tree is starting to come up with more and more suggestions. I don't know how often they add it or update it, but holding Alt's starting to be a lot more informative, and I like it. It's not everywhere yet, but I'm noticing it a lot more, which is really nice.
This is a nice positive, Tyler. I like it, Ty. It's the change from last episode. It lasted for like 20 minutes before After Dark.
Yeah, well, okay, I guess I needed that last After Dark.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
Last thing for
Starting
me regarding...
now.
Yeah, I choose to be polite starting after I yell at you for this.
That's right.
No, I had one more post, but it was a console post for GG. I don't even think I put it on Reddit because I didn't want people... Did you know that it's a rule within like the guidelines on both the Reddit and on the forums on Path of Exile's website, you're not allowed to make fun of somebody for the platform they play on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I love it. It's so great. I love that they added that. Oh, man. And it's been on there for a while. But anyway, for some reason, I didn't post this on Reddit because I didn't feel like dealing with the garbage.
Mhm.
But there was, I posted this on the website. It said, please change the button that interacts with blight towers. It kills users. This is in the console suggestion.
Oh, because it's the same as your pickup, right?
No. So the button to interact with blight towers on console is pushing down on your movement analog, your left analog stick, like a button.
Okay.
I accidentally push down on the left analog stick all the time. All the time when I'm moving in Path of Exile, when I'm racing in Formula 1, and when I'm playing Dragon's Dogma, every single game, I'm accidentally, like, I'm into the game and I'm pushing on the analog stick because I'm not super calm. Like, when I'm racing, I'm the kind of person that tilts their head. Yeah, I lean when I'm doing a racing game in a video game. It's stupid, but I'm into the games. And so I'm accidentally pushing down on this all the time. And I can't tell you how many times I die because I'm not moving. And I'm like, well, is that like some sort of, what's that, bear trap or snare trap or whatever they call it? Or I'm like, am I frozen? So I'm like hitting flasks. I'm trying to move. I'm like, what's going on? And then I realize after I'm dead that I brought up a menu. And the screen's so busy, I can't tell that the menu's up.
What does pushing down on the right click do? On the right thumbstick?
Nothing.
I feel like it would be better on a something like that where you could continue to move while the menu's up.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Yes.
Yeah. Because not moving is you're dead in a lot of builds in PoE.
Right.
In many.
And the right analog stick doesn't do anything in combat while you're playing. So that would be a great alternative interaction for it.
Especially if you can still move, yep.
I posted that. Hopefully it got read. Doubt it. But that's all right.
Hopefully they read them.
But I had an awesome PoE week. I just had a lot of fun playing, dying, and I don't know. It's fun to get made fun of from people, but like in a fun, friendly way.
Actually,
you know what
rude.
I mean?
Yep, everybody has a good time.
And if you are, I will find you and end you. All right.
You will. Talk. All right. Let's talk about this week in PoE. I'm really happy console still made our list, even though there's nothing about it. Why is that in there?
wait. How is? Oh, I'm on the wrong side here. I clicked on the wrong thing. Hang on a second. How is your PoE?
So you're actually talking about last week.
Yeah, console.
Why is console in here?
Well, I just wanted everyone to know that nothing was posted about console, but now it's good to know. It's good to know.
Yep, that's awesome. So anyway, they did fan art. We've talked about it before. It's good. Shockingly,
astonishing.
Who knew we were going to say that? But it's a lot of painting this time, or they look like paintings at least.
I really enjoyed the written interview that they did this week. I enjoy all of them, whether they're big streamers or little streamers. I really appreciate the fact that GGG just, singles somebody out. Hey, how do you like the game? Why do you like it? Like, I just think it's really
Plus reading
fun
is so nice. Coming from people talking in an audio podcast right now.
That's right.
Reading is nice sometimes because you can just pay attention and skip the stuff you don't like.
Yeah, you can. You can skip right to the stuff that interests you. And I do actually appreciate that. So anyways, they did, GGG interviewed Suit Size Small this week, which I really enjoyed. Suit Size Small, they do the PoE Lab. That's right.
Amazing.
They do. Yes. I mean,
seriously,
one of the most
the
underappreciated
I think so.
tools out there that is constantly used or referenced by people.
And updated daily. That's nuts.
Yeah. Insane. And so they have a lot, like they're a very offline style community member, but they do a lot of cosplay and there's a lot of really cool information in there.
Yeah, really good.
So I really liked it. But two things I absolutely loved about it. Suit Size Small loves the Souls games.
Oh,
so
who doesn't?
Awesome. Really? Yeah. Well,
that's how you know you're level
not
of
a
awesome.
friend of ours. That's right. That's right. And when there was a suggestion, so like if you're going to give anybody a suggestion for Path of Exile, how do you play it? And they said, take your time. I love it. Like, don't be discouraged by how fast people progress or how the economy is progressing. Play at your pace, your way. I loved it. That was like 100% on ball. So I was really, I really enjoyed the Suit Size Small interview this week.
That's awesome. All right, we got some 316 announcements. I
still get excited for the announcements of announcements, and I love that they make fun of themselves for it.
It's 100% become a thing now.
Where love it.
They'll do it all the time, I'm sure. So the first announcement was of the announcement that was coming. So this was pre us knowing anything. Just like here's a rough timeline of
it's that wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, we do
gonna get
now
an
know that
announcement
it's
soon.
316 because we weren't sure a couple episodes ago.
That's right. That's right. We were hoping it was 4.0. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is 316, just in case you're not aware. I guess we can probably kind of jump into the most recent one because that's the one that actually talks about the name. What's it called?
Scourge.
Wow, that was so not exciting, Tyler.
Are you ready for Path of Exile? Scourge.
Scourge. So they did a tiny little teaser video, which was, I really like these. These to me are so fun. I'll tell you why. First off, it excites me. There's something new in the UI. The music is, oh my God, it's good. It's so
Every
weird
time.
to watch. Here's what I was doing this just out of curiosity. I played it in mute. I played it muted, so no sound.
Yeah.
And then I was like, how does he do what he does? How does he get this video and turn it into what it is every single time? Because it had no audio. There was nothing there. I just think that's amazing. Anyway, so it's called Scourge. There's this weird new, it's not a trinket because it's above the trinket slot beside your glove slot that like goes in to do some sort of magic, some Scourgey type magic.
Yeah. That's probably the official term, Scourgey.
But then I also like when they do this because then people are like,
what?
You didn't give me enough information. I want to know more. I know. I like that too. There's also a new item. Did you see it?
There is. It's
what is it?
Well, people are calling it like a new fusing. It looks like fusing.
That's what I heard somebody say. And then I was like, wouldn't that be a dumb thing to introduce when in PoE 2 we're getting rid of them? Or is it just like they're like, well, guys, is this a sign that PoE 2 is really far away? They're like, listen, you're going to have at least double the amount of time you've had normal fuses to use these new fuses.
That's right.
10 years will be PoE 2.
PoE 3 will come out before PoE 2. No, but like, cool. I don't know, but maybe they're kind of progressing themselves in a way. See, this is what I love. I love these conversations where it doesn't matter what we come up with. They have an idea.
We're
they
wrong
know
100% already. We know. It's fine.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But I love, maybe this is kind of an item that kind of gets you towards the idea of PoE 2. So maybe fusings are easier. Maybe they change how mods work. So maybe this is like a fusing where it guarantees your max amount of links.
Or what if?
I liked my idea.
What if it applies a modifier to that link?
All links have mods?
Just that particular link. In a 6th link, if I link this one, it only modifies those two.
Oh, okay.
That's got to be it. It's got to be it.
Yeah, that's right. Modded links.
The only option.
Yeah. No, but I love that they don't show it. Like they intentionally fill up the inventory, the character inventory.
Totally.
And then, but it's only for that one item. Maybe there's other stuff in there that we haven't noticed yet, but it's for that one item. And then, but then there's the movement of that like Scourgey
magic
trinket thingy that they were talking about. And obviously the movement catches our eyes, so we see that. But then people are going to catch.
Of course, somebody's going through frame by frame.
Black fusing, right? And it's like, so now all these people like us are talking about. I just love it. I love it. And it was really nice to see Bex back out and doing a little bit more interaction with Twitter and stuff like that. Last league, she was kind of MIA. We all missed her dearly, and some of us even wondered if she was okay. So it was awesome to hear Chris, at the pre-15 hype saying, yeah, no, she's good, just working hard, doing different stuff. Now she's back kind of doing all the teaser stuff. So, but anyway, I always pray that her and her team, just because like they're like the front lines of PoE, and seems like the community is getting better, or at least taking a step back from a lot of the anger that's, about the game that people may still have or used to have. So I always pray that her and her team are doing well. So nice to see her out.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through the chat or the comments just out of curiosity to see.
All positive.
Almost all positive, yeah. You still got the one person who's like, you wrecked my game. I just love that.
Are they still talking about Harvest?
313, whatever 313 was. Is that Harvest?
Yeah.
Maybe that. They did reference 313.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully, they're one person out of all the comments I've seen so far who see a 20-second clip and are like, nope, not better.
Just even special people need hugs.
That's right? So they're coming out on the 14th of October at noon is when they're going to do the actual announcement. So I'm curious what we'll see between now and then, because that's still 2 weeks from the day we're recording. 11 days when this actually comes out, 12 days.
Yeah, it'll be the 22nd on PC, 27th on console,
That's
and
for the actual
14th
release.
for the reveal.
But I mean, between now and the 14th, I'm curious if there will be more stuff. Also, I didn't realize. So we're going to be playing this 316 for about 6 days.
Oh, yeah, and then Age of Empires 4.
Right.
Yeah, and no offense, GG, it's awesome. I just know Justin's going to have like his time. Yeah, we've been waiting for, what was it, 14 years? 2006, was it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
I'll still be playing 316 like crazy, but
yeah, well, it'll be a mix. Mondays will probably be our Age of Empires.
It's probably
That's like
Age of Empires for
the only game you and I can play that you're not going to take offline and just go crazy with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the times when Justin and I play, he lacks a little bit of the self-control because he gets so into a game, and then so we'll finish playing our co-op experience or whatever it is, but then he's so into it he can't wait for the next Monday when we hang out, and so all of a sudden his character's like 20 levels ahead, or is in this situation to be like a civilization or an empire. So this is an RTS is like the only game.
It's great for us
that he has to play co-op and to enjoy.
Yeah, that's actually entirely true too, because I have no interest in the campaign and I have no interest in online multiplayer. So these are the best games ever for us, because it's like, hey, let's play us two against a computer. No real people, because that just makes us angry. We don't like you bunch of jerks with your things coming in real fast. Piss off.
Yeah, that's right. Wall. Let me turtle. Exactly. I want it to be hard later, not now.
Right, exactly. Unless it's Siege, then you can go to hell. But October 14th, noon, our time, PST, they're going to have the thing again with Ziggy and Chris after doing a Q&A. I love it. I'm so happy they're still keeping with this method.
Oh, me too. Super COVID's
good.
Not gone yet, but like we've talked about or they've mentioned, I hope it sticks post-COVID.
There's no way they change.
They stick with that. And you were talking about wonder what's going to come out. They've already shown that their communication has changed. Like they mentioned that communication is going to change. I think Tarky really emphasized it in his first kind of put out fire 315 interview with Chris.
What would you say is different so far?
Well, already they said, and they've basically guaranteed, what was it? I think it was in the second link here. Give me 2 seconds to bring it up. As we mentioned in recent podcasts, we're planning to reduce the number of maps and regions in the Atlas. While the details of this are still to come, it's worth noting that this will affect existing atlases for players in permanent leagues. If you're playing these leagues, please keep an eye out for incoming news. Blah, 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 blah. But already they're guaranteeing a certain amount of information regarding the Atlas. That would normally be a massive thing, right? Now, sure, he talked about that in a previous podcast, but they mentioned about an effort to improve communication. Not everything needs to be a surprise. There's certain things that are good for surprises, good for marketing, but to have a clear communication ahead of time to set expectations could be something that a very emotional fan base could benefit from, or you wouldn't have as many fires to put out if there was, I guess, you know what I mean, less to reveal, but still a good amount to reveal. Anyway, that's their problem, but it's nice to see that the communication's out there. And so, but who knows now? Like this will be the first league that we have since those interviews to see what we learned before the big reveal. And
I saw a really funny tweeter from Camille, and he was replying to Bex. And I'm going to put it to the camera so you can see it, and then I'll explain it. But he says, I'm just thinking what I could reveal, but since I can't, I will just keep winking with a smiley face. But he put this GIF. Hold on. I'll tell you when to look. It's going to, there.
We got to play it now.
Okay.
Now it's.
So he puts this GIF, and it's like, I don't know what movie that's from.
That's The Matrix. That's when Neo's mouth is sealing up.
Right. So his mouth is like sealed up and he can't say it, and he can't read it in the screen there. But Bex says, you've pretty much described my entire career.
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
Good for them. It's fun seeing yeah, that's right. And it's funny because you go back to Camille, and it's funny. Like I too saw GGG's tweet almost right away. I look at it, but I don't have the sound on. I don't want to interrupt what's going on at the time. So I look at it and I'm like, I'm kind of excited. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're adding a new thing to the HUD. They're moving a big trinket thingy, and then it changes stuff. The color changed, and I'm getting all excited. And then I listen to it live later on, or I replay it but with sound, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I almost spooged for just this little thing going over. Like it's amazing, the emphasis and the power of music, but also that's how nerdy we are, and I absolutely love it. Like you could go to anybody else and you're like, dude, check this out. And you and I could talk about it for an hour and a half. That's why we started a podcast, because we could talk about that stupid stuff for an hour and a half. You go to one of another friend or your spouse or someone's like, look what they just did. They moved that thing. That's not in this game right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I know. I love that about nerding it out. Nerding it out. So good.
Anyway, it's going to be fun. I'm excited. We'll have right around that time, we'll be able to do, hold on, the 14th. Oh, it's Thursday. Thank goodness.
Why? What?
We get to talk about it the next day, because I hate when stuff comes out on like a Friday. But thankfully, it's always there Friday, so it works out well for us.
Yeah.
So anyway, for people finishing up the private league, good luck. Hopefully,
I hope you all die.
Yeah, let's see some more dead people in the top. Okay, push harder.
Yeah, be more apathetic. Drink more, then play.
Yeah, but otherwise, I think we're going to wrap up episode 104. Nice simple one. We got a little teaser from GGG, and I think that's pretty much it for episode 104. Forever Exile, the Path of Exile podcast. I'm Justin AK Tags.
Tyler Record Days.
We will catch Patrons in After Dark, recorded later on tonight. And everybody else, will see you in episode 105, most likely is the next episode. I think we're at around there.
If we feel like it.
Give or take a little bit. If you're curious about more information, we've got information down below. Website, foreverexiled.com. We're on Twitter, foreverexiled82. We've got a Discord, which you should be in if you're not. And Patreon and other information is down below or on our website. Bye.
Let's go pick up the kids.